Hello. In this message, I wanted to offer a physical interpretation or physical explanation of what it means for you to experience a shift in frequencies or shift in vibrations, or some people might call it energetic upgrades or energetic shifts, um, or what I would interpret it, or how the language I've been giving would be the change in phases. So the energetic interpretation of your being at all times functions on and chooses basically to vibrate on a specific vibrational current, right? It is kind of the signature of you. So if you think of you as a unique being in its unique interpretation of the greater whole, the baseline vibrational frequency of you at birth, well, at birth, it comes in into one frequency, but then as you settle into what it means to be you, what it means to be Tanya in the form, in the physical form, then settles into basically a baseline of vibration, right? And that baseline, it has a specific synth wave that is assigned to your particular interpretation as a human being in the human form, right? But energetically, we're speaking from a line that is the essence of you. And that essence of you encompasses and incorporates all aspects of your being, both your physical appearances, both your functionalities of your physical form. It interprets your energetic extrapolation of what it means for you to stretch your energy out and compress your energy in, the depth of that. And then it also interprets your connections to all the other planes of existence that exist, that are available to you from the three-dimensional standpoint. So I'm not talking about your existence in the other planes. I'm talking about your interactions with your planes of existence. So one of them would be your mental plane. One would be your astral plane, your soul body, your higher self. It also connects back to your interactions of the all the other realms of existence, right? So the baseline starts out, let's say, it establishes itself right through your puberty, and then through that you continue or start to function within the baseline of your adjustments. That is how it has been for the past decades and decades of existence. So, but now the interpretation of your being has changed to where the baseline frequency that you have come to assimilate thus far in your life has now shifted. It shifted not to be higher or lower, not to be um, better or worse. It just shifted to where your baseline is now different. This baseline signature vibration is different than it used to be. And so, from the physical standpoint, the physical interpretation, you are now, in essence, a different being. You are a different version of self, even though you perceptually still function as three-dimensional form, and perceptually you still carry the same actions and vibrations that you have, interpreted for the last 40 years of my life. Um, but now that baseline is a different vibrational signature, right? And so everything that sits and propagates in your life, both pre change of the baseline and post the change of the baseline, originates from that baseline signature, right? So your signature of self is now basically adjusted to something new, to something different. And so the energetic shifts, energetic vibrates, or energetic vibrational shifts, um, frequency ranges, dimensional shifts, are all kind of coincided and are being interpreted within this explanation. And so, as you're able to shift your frequency, or as the baseline has shifted, you're now able to touch on and then extrapolate yourself in a whole new set of frequencies that you had previously had available to you before, right? So if your baseline is here, you by default were able to touch a certain set of outside dimensions or outside interpretations of what is your perception of self, what is your perception of the world, what is your perception of reality. But because the baseline is now different, you're touching on a whole other set of perceptions or dimensional realities or possibilities or dimensional realms or some people might refer to them as manifested realities. And so the shift offers opportunity. It offers incredible opportunity to start experiencing new things. And that is the part that I touched on in the previous video that I wanted to kind of basically dive into the interpretive version of that shift is that the possibilities of new that you have to experience right now are literally available to you because your dimensional interpretation has shifted. Your frequency, your baseline, right, is so different that now you're able to touch on and are much closer to what others might call a veil or fifth dimension or sixth dimension, seventh dimension, whatever you refer to that as. But your baseline being different allows you to have a closer, let's say, a close contact, right? It's almost you can touch it sooner. If you previously the dimensional world was out of your reach, your reach of your arm, now it is basically almost within access of your fingers, right, to where you can almost start to touch it. And so that is the shift that you're starting to experience. So you're almost kind of in this limbo state to where you yourself is different, everything is new. You feel the proximity of things, you feel proximity of something. Um, but at the same time, your experiences are completely new, right? So you're not drawing definitions, you're not seeing past the veil, but you're touching the veil. And so opportunities in this realm basically offer you a new playground to play in. They offer you a new way to start to interpret your being, quite literally from an upgraded a vibrational shift of frequencies. And so play in this space and get comfortable in this space. Allow yourself to assimilate and acclimate to the frequencies in this particular state of being. Take some time. One, realize you have new opportunities. One, you realize that experiences that will be coming to you are completely new, and then decide to partake and dive into those opportunities. And so it is important to spend time acclimating. It's important to spend time getting to know you and playing with these new energies, playing with these new interpretations of you, um, and have patience, right? Because just because the new opportunities are coming to you does not mean everything is easy, but simply start looking at it from the curiosity of a child, because in essence that is what you are, right? Whenever you get brought into a new baseline of operation, you are looking at the world as a newborn child, right? Or a toddler discovering the world. When toddler gains his independence and walking, the world is being discovered. So touching, feeling, interpreting, sensing, interpreting the senses, um, the ranges of the senses will become different. The ranges of interpretations of touch, ranges of interpretation of visionary ability will increase. By that, I mean you will start to perceive things that previously you might have not been able to see, quite literally see, or hear things you might have not been able to hear. And so that as you coming closer to the shift or coming closer to the veil, and the veil is basically um, having its own vibratory frequency that are now is able to touch your upgraded sense of being, you'll start to shift and experience a lot more new things, exciting things that you can start to play with. And so dive in, play, allow yourself the experimental existence of you, and allow that to acclimate. Like I said before, just allow it to flow and become comfortable with it. because then um, what's coming next requires your acclimation and comfort level before it could reveal itself further. And so, if you're seeing things, acknowledge, uh, don't deny it, right? If you're feeling things, acknowledge, don't deny it, and then start to interpret, what is it that I'm seeing? How do I feel about what I'm seeing? Can I be friends with it? Can I play with it more? Can I interact with it in a different way? Can I touch on something that I wasn't able to touch on before, and start interpreting different definitions out of that touch, out of that perception? Can I sense things better? And if I do sense things, can I cognitively allow myself the interpretation of what is it that I'm sensing, as opposed to denying the new senses, right? So as yourself is opening up to the new possibilities, allow to sink in, like interpret it, feel it, express it, talk about it, extrapolate it, and then allow that to be your truth, right? So denying of this is not assimilation. Denying of this is not propagation or acceptance of your new way of being. There will be no way for you to continue to deny and stay, one, in the form of acclamation, and then two, in the form where your being is able to hold any frequencies that now you're basically vibrating at. So open, right? Allow, explore, allow that to be your truth. I'm not telling you what your truth should be. I'm saying find your truth and allow that to be your truth. And do not deny your truth, right? We've spent so much time denying our truth. But now this new vibrational frequency is calling for us to make a stance into our truth, into ourselves, right? And then our interpretation of the world, and then being able to see the magic that it is. I hope you interpret it as magic. It certainly feels like magic to me. But allow yourself to make your own interpretive decisions of what it means to assimilate this energy, and to start acknowledging that you're vibrating at a different baseline than you have ever experienced before. So now I will touch on this from the other standpoint. It doesn't really matter what others are doing around you. It doesn't really matter what others are vibrating around you, right? The concept of you, as an interpretation of you for the purposes of someone else, it does no longer work, right? So it is your interpretation for the purposes of you, right? This is not you interpreting yourself for the benefit of the other, or the society, or the collective. It is your interpretation of you for the purposes of you. And so each individual is responsible for that right now, on their own being, right? The collective pain body has left the purpose of its being. And the individualized expression and interpretation is the key to assimilation. Now, you can obviously interact into assimilation with others who are possibly interacting and with you through their assimilation. So that is just part of life. Is the reflective nature of you assimilating something as somebody else is assimilating something, and then there's this gameplay, right, between two individuals, a group of individuals, but as individual selves, right? As I, and not as, no, there's not even a word for that anymore. So the I of you is on board, and it is living, and it is vibrating, and it's functioning. And then I allow it to be your truth. Allow it to flow. Stop denying it and allow it to flow, and then marry it. Marry yourself, and stay married for quite a while, so you can start to get comfortable of what's coming next. Thank you.